Chambers, Chairperson ECOWAS Trade Liberalization Scheme, Vice President, Madam Immediate Honorable Commissioner of ECOWAS Commission, Special Envoy on Terrorism, Your Excellencies, members of diplomatic corps, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is my singular honor to once again welcome you to Abuja on behalf of the government and people of Nigeria. On the occasion of the 60th Ordinary Session of the Authority of Head of State and Governments of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS. I would like to extend my deepest appreciation to all of you for the continued support you have extended me over the past year since I took over as the chair of ECOWAS. Let me also recognize the presence of our brother, President Bassirou Faye of Senegal, who had joined our rank as the newest member of the authority. Allow me to further extend the warm congratulations to the government and people of the Republic of Senegal for their steadfastness in the consolidation of democratic governance. The recently concluded presidential election has been widely adjudged as free, fair, transparent, and credible. This achievement is a testament to our region's commitment to the principle of democracy, good governance, and rule of law. Excellencies and state government, distinguished guests, we have convened this ordinary session to once again review the situation in our region. We are aware of the enormous challenges, including terrorist activities and violent extremism, threatening to spread from Sahel region towards the coastal states, especially those that witnessed constitutional changes of government. The decision of the three Saharan countries of Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger to withdraw from ECOWAS has also been noticed. Our partners are carrying out critical intervention in countries affected by humanitarian crisis. Excellencies, head of state and government, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me underscore that a peaceful and secure society is essential for achieving our potential. As we move to operationalize the ECOWAS Standby Force, ESF, in combating terrorism, I must emphasize that the success of this plan requires not only strong political will, but also substantial financial resources. We must, therefore, ensure that we meet the expectations and recommendations set forth by our ministers of defense and finance in order to counter the insecurity and stabilize our region. Member states must make extra commitment on providing resources for stabilizing the region. To this end, I urge ECOWAS to leverage on the capability of the Nigerian National Counter-Terrorism Center, NCTC, which is widely acknowledged as one of the best on the continent. The Nigerian government has decided to declare the NCTC as a regional center to enable all ECOWAS member states benefit from the capacity building and the other related opportunities it offers. Your Excellencies, Dear head of state, I urge those of you with time to visit the center before your departure and assess firsthand on the facilities and capability of NCTC. I'm also fully aware of other challenges confronting our region, especially the economic hurdles that hinder our progress. To elevate our people from poverty to prosperity, it is imperative that we unite as a community and develop innovative approaches to unleash our vast economic potential. We must continue to identify and develop partnerships that promote investment in key sectors and promote regional trade. Furthermore, we must invest in our infrastructure and cultivate a conducive business environment to empower our communities to stimulate growth and build resilience against external shocks. Together, we can pave the way for a prosperous future for all ECOWAS sub-region. Excellencies, head of state and government, distinguished guests, I also acknowledge the financial challenges of our organization. Difficult economic conditions and consistent payment of financial commitments to ECOWAS have contributed to the current plight. To ensure ECOWAS has adequate resources for its program and activities, I urge all member states to ensure full compliance with the protocol on the community levy. Nigeria, under my leadership, is committed to leading by example by remitting its collected levies to the organization. By the way, we resolved in a caucus meeting that details of outstandings by countries will be distributed from the ECOWAS Secretariat and keep us informed. Nevertheless, the ECOWAS management must also reduce its overhead expenditures and focus on programs and activities that directly impact the lives of our citizens. I am aware of the progress report on the implementation of the ECOWAS institutional reforms. I therefore call on the President of the ECOWAS Commission to resume and expedite conclusions of the second phase of the institutional reforms. The aim at reducing the organization's operational costs is there. I'll further call on the Administration and Finance Committee, AFC, and the Permanent Representatives Committee, PRC, supervised by the Council of Ministers, to ensure vigilant, rigorous, prudent financial management of the resources contributed by our taxpayers. Furthermore, I encourage the ECOWAS Commission to establish in-country steering committees comprising of relevant stakeholders within our respective member states to implement ECOWAS programs and other activities. The West African Health Organization has already implemented a similar model with great success. I must commend the President of the Commission for this initiative. Thank you very much. Indeed, adopting this model within the Commission and other institutions will enhance transparency and accountability, as well as promote greater ownership of programs and activities by our member states. During this 65th ordinary session, we will consider, as always, several issues affecting critical areas of the community through reports and memoranda on agenda, including 2024 interim report on state of the community, report of the 52nd ordinary session of the Mediation and Security Council at the ministerial level, and memorandum on status of implementation of ECOWAS trade liberalization scheme, among others. I would therefore urge us to carefully consider the issues to be presented to us here today and make concrete decisions for our community. Before closing, I would like to remind my esteemed colleague that the elections for the management of the African Bankole Adeoye, seeking a re-election as the sole male candidate for this position from our region. With these few remarks, I hereby declare the 65th session, ECOWAS Authority of Head of State and Government, open. Thank you.
We thank His Excellency, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, Chair of the Authority, President and Commander-in-Chief of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, for his welcome and opening statement and the pertinent remarks therein. É com muito prazer agora que eu convido Sua Excelência Leonardo Santos Simão, representante especial do Secretário-Geral das Nações Unidas para a África Ocidental e o Sahel, a pronunciar a sua alocução. Obrigada.
Obrigado, Senhora Mestre de Cerimônias. Your Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and Chairperson of the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government. Excellencies, Heads of State and Government of ECOWAS member states, Your Excellency Omar Aliou Touré, President of the ECOWAS Commission, Your Excellency Ambassador Bankole Adeoye, Commissioner for Political Affairs, Peace and Security, the African Union Commission, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is my honor to be present here today and a pleasure to convey warm greetings from the Secretary General of the United Nations, Mr. Antonio Guterres, who is keenly following developments in the sub-region. I thank you for your kind invitation. The past several months have witnessed a number of key political developments in the sub-region. One of these was the successful conduct of presidential elections in Senegal on 24th March. I would like also to congratulate President Bassirou Diomaye Faye for his victory at that election. Monsieur le Président, à l'occasion de votre accession aux plus hautes fonctions de votre pays, nous vous félicitons, ainsi que le peuple sénégalais, pour cette victoire qui représente également un progrès démocratique pour l'ensemble de la sous-région. The successful conduct of the elections in Senegal, several months after those in Liberia, which resulted in the elections of President Joseph Boakai, whom I salute and congratulate, are significant positive developments in a very challenging political context in our sub-region. As some member states prepare for future elections, including the upcoming December general elections in Ghana, we must increase our efforts to promote greater inclusiveness, particularly of youth, women, and the people living with disabilities in electoral and political processes and in governance in general. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to commend your continuous and sustainable efforts to address the multiple challenges facing the sub-region, particularly the threat to the unity and cohesion of ECOWAS, and your tireless efforts to address the scourge of terrorism, including through the setting up of a counter-terrorism force. On our part, and in the spirit of complementarity, we have continued engagement with the various actors and relevant stakeholders in and beyond the sub-region. This as part of efforts to contribute to a lasting solution to the standoff between ECOWAS and the 3 member states, and in contributing to efforts aimed at addressing security challenges, consolidating democracy and good governance, and promoting development in our sub-region. In this context, I visited Burkina Faso and Niger in March, and traveled to Mali in May, where I held discussions with national leaders and other relevant stakeholders. I encouraged the authorities of the 3 countries to collaborate with ECOWAS, coastal states and their neighbors, including through integrated security mechanisms such as the Accra Initiative. In this regard, I visited Côte d'Ivoire 2 weeks ago, and I was in Ghana a few days ago, where I had fruitful discussions with their Excellencies President Alassane Ouattara and President Nana Akufo-Addo, respectively, on the need to prevent terrorism to continuously spill over across our region. I encourage the continuation of efforts aimed at preserving the integrity and cohesion of ECOWAS, essential for the strengthening of the necessary conditions for deepening the regional integration process. In my continuous engagement with the key international partners, I traveled to Moscow in March, where I held discussions with the Russian authorities and officials on the situation in our sub-region, especially in the Sahel. I stressed the need for them to contribute to the socio-economic development of partner countries in the region, and I also highlighted the importance of supporting and building on the efforts of ECOWAS. Meanwhile, a delegation of regional directors of UN agencies, funds and programs in West Africa recently carried out missions to Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger to assess how the United Nations can continue to better support the people of these countries. One of the major concerns which stands out in these countries and the sub-region in general is the decline in funding for humanitarian assistance, which is currently only at about 20% of the needs. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, in the context of complex challenges in the sub-region, the United Nations will continue to support national and regional efforts to ensure peace and stability, enhance democracy and good governance, including through inclusive political processes and socio-economic development, with the emphasis on economic empowerment of women and youth. From 18 to 20th June, I was honored to co-lead with Her Excellency Fatoumata Jallow Tambajang, former Vice President of the Gambia, and ECOWAS AU UNOWA's joint mission to Sierra Leone. The mission, amongst others, succeeded in bringing back the opposition All People's Congress to the tripartite peace table within the framework of the Agreement for National Unity signed by government and the APC on 18 October 2023. On the 1st July, the tripartite committee handed over to President Julius Maada Bio its report, which paves the way for the country move forward. On behalf of my colleagues, members of the Independent Committee of Guarantors, and on my own behalf, I take this opportunity to congratulate both the government of Sierra Leone and All People's Congress for their dedicated efforts to find peaceful solutions to their differences, putting the interests of the people of Sierra Leone as their common priority. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, I would like to reiterate the availability of UNOWAS and that of the entire UN system to work closely with ECOWAS in support of national and regional efforts for peace, security, and development in West Africa. I thank you very much for your kind attention.
Nous remercions Son Excellence Léonard de Saint-Simon pour son allocution. Maintenant, nous allons recevoir et entendre le discours de Son Excellence Moussa Faki, président de la Commission de l'Union africaine, prononcé par Son Excellence Bankole Adéoye, commissaire aux affaires politiques, à la paix et à la sécurité de la Commission de l'Union africaine. Merci.
Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Chair of ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government and President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Excellencies, Heads of State and Government here present, Excellency, Chair of ECOWAS Council of Ministers, Ambassador Yusuf Maitama Tuga, Honorable Ministers, President of the ECOWAS Commission, Dr. Mohamed Ibn Chambers, former President of the ECOWAS Commission, Special Representative of the United Nations, Secretary General for West Africa and the Sahel, members of the Diplomatic Corps, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of His Excellency, Moussa Faki Mahamat, Chairperson of the African Union Commission, the African Union is highly honored and most appreciative of the consistent invitation and engagement with ECOWAS at all levels. Regrettably, Chairperson Mahamat is unable to join you today due to earlier commitments, and he has requested me to convey this message. With your kind permission, Chair, I will respectfully proceed to deliver a statement. I quote, "First, the African Union extends highest commendation to His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for his progressive, astute, and resourceful leadership in steering the affairs of ECOWAS, especially in the fight against terrorism, violent extremism, and unconstitutional changes of government. Excellencies, let me underscore that the African Union and ECOWAS have been collaborating to collectively deepen the nexus between peace, security, and sustainable development. In effect, Excellencies, regional integration and political stability are fundamentally intertwined, each being vital and mutually reinforcing for our shared peace, development, and prosperity. In addition, joint consultations between the African Union Peace and Security Council and the ECOWAS Mediation and Security Council at ambassadorial level was inaugurated in Abuja last April. The consultation served as a first historic opportunity for the two security organs to promote continental and regional interface, coordination, and harmonization of peace initiatives to achieve greater synergy. Excellencies, the African Union is committed to continuously strengthen with renewed energy the collaboration to attain value-driven and smart partnerships with ECOWAS. In this respect, permit me, Chair, Excellencies, to underscore some key major priorities for effective collaboration with ECOWAS. First, strengthening political will and alignment of national, continental, and regional priorities to achieve regional solutions driven by Agenda 2063 and, of course, the ECOWAS Vision 2050. This will be, for us, value addition to regional stability and security. Excellencies, secondly, the urgency to intensify efforts to construct a collective and inclusive front against terrorism, violent extremism, insurgency, and undemocratic means to power, including cyber criminality, are critical areas that must be addressed. In this connection, Excellencies, we commend the government of Nigeria and the United Nations for successfully convening the first high-level ministerial meeting on counterterrorism and violent extremism held in Abuja last April. The AU Peace and Security Council just last week adopted the Abuja Declaration as a way forward in countering terrorism and specifically called for its immediate implementation. Thirdly, Excellencies, the imperative of retooling our strategies to support the consolidation of democratic governance through community-led and owned approaches that will be championed by inclusivity of participation of women and the youth is also a way forward in our priorities with ECOWAS. It is necessary, Excellencies, that we affirm the role of ECOWAS as we look forward to the 50th anniversary to be marked in 2025. Your union, the African Union, will join ECOWAS in celebrating the 5 decades of a successful, innovative, and resilient model of regional integration. Excellencies, for us in the Union, ECOWAS is a regional body of substance, a regional body of repute, a pace setter in peace enforcement, a pace setter in African solutions to African problems, a pace setter in silencing the guns, a democratic space for constitutional order, as evident in the recent smooth political transitions in the Republic of Liberia and the Republic of Senegal. Excellencies, the African Union is indeed very proud of ECOWAS. We advocate for a united community. We advocate and we fully support the unity of ECOWAS. The withdrawal by 3 countries is unacceptable to the African Union, and we believe in one ECOWAS. Chairman, Excellencies, let me conclude by categorically affirming that with ECOWAS in the forefront, the future of regional, political, and socio-economic integration is very bright on our continent. I thank you very much, and I believe this will be the end of our deliberations for today from the African Union, and I want to assure you that Chairperson Faki will continuously support all your outcomes. Thank you.
We thank His Excellency for sharing with us the message from His Excellency, the President of the African Union Commission. This statement brings to an end the opening ceremony of the 65th Ordinary Session of the Authority. At this time, the Authority will continue its deliberations in a closed-door session. Therefore, we ask our distinguished guests, members of the Diplomatic Corps, and all invitees who are not accredited to participate in the closed-door session, and of course, our friends from the media to please redraw to permit the authority continue its deliberations in the closed-door format. Thank you.